All right, y'all, we are back with another video. I definitely had to bring y'all this one now. The internet is raging right now because y'all can remember when Pam Bondi said that she had a list of the papers of the Epstein list on her desk. You know, she was going to have to go through it, and then all of a sudden the FBI comes out talking about there is no Epstein list. There's no blackmail, no video evidence, and a lot of people is calling out Pam Bondi, calling out Cash Patel and Dan Bongino. A lot of them saying that should President Trump fire all three of them? I don't know. So, I mean, y'all can get in the comment section. Let me know, what do y'all think about all of this? You know, because like I said, the internet is on fire right now. And we're going to play those clips when Pam Bondi said that she had the papers on her desk. All she had to do was go through them. They was going to release them. Then all of a sudden now the FBI come back talking about there is no Epstein list. Like I said, something ain't right. It's something behind this. I don't know what it is. It has to be a cover up or something like that. I don't know what is going on. And like I said, y'all let me know, do y'all still have faith in Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, Dan Bongino? Let me know how y'all feel about them in the comment section. Been a lot of people online talking about that, you know, Pam Bondi them has turned on President Trump. I've been seeing that all over Twitter. Like I said, because I don't know what's going on. Like, this right here is crazy. I want to check this video by Benny. And like I said, he said that the internet is raging as FBI claims there is no Epstein list, no blackmail, no video evidence. Y'all lied to us. And that's what everybody is saying right now. But like I said, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody showing so much support. Shout out to the ones who always stay to the very end. And let me know in the comment section that you did watch the entire video. I appreciate all of you that do that. And to help me get this video out here, please hit that like button. That's very, very important. Please hit that like button. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and dive straight into this. But like I said before we get into this, I want y'all to see this clip on Twitter where Peter Doocy pretty much was, you know, asking like, hey, like, what's up with the Epstein list? So that's what he was asking Caroline Levitt. So check this out on the screen right here. So as y'all can see right here by Colin Rugg, he said, Fox News Peter Doocy demands answers. He asked why AG Pam Bondi previously claimed there was an Epstein client list sitting on her desk. She definitely said that. So let's go ahead and dive in straight into this clip right here where he's asking Caroline Levitt, and let's see what her answer is.
The DOJ and FBI have now concluded there was no Jeffrey Epstein client list. What do you tell MAGA supporters who say they want anyone involved in Jeffrey Epstein's alleged crimes to be held accountable?
This administration wants anyone who has ever committed a crime to be held accountable, and I would argue this administration has done more to lock up bad guys than certainly the previous administration. And the Trump administration is committed to truth and to transparency. That's why the Attorney General and the FBI Director pledged at the President's direction to do an exhaustive review of all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and his death. And they put out a memo in conclusion of that review. There was material they did not release because, frankly, it was incredibly graphic and it contained child pornography, which is not something that's appropriate for public consumption. But they committed to an exhaustive investigation. That's what they did, and they provided the results of that. That's transparency.
Follow up on that,
Sure.
Caroline. Okay, so the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox
I've
News.
got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was
What?
saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars. They have an operation going on right now called Summer Heat, which has our murder rate trending in the lowest direction in United States history. Their emphasis on violent crime and locking up violent criminals has led to the arrest of 14,000 violent criminals. That's a 62% increase from the same time period last year. So this Attorney General and the FBI Director are committed to putting bad people behind bars where they belong, that they promised an exhaustive review. That's what they did. For any further details, I would refer you to the Department of Justice.
So as y'all can see what Caroline Levitt is saying right there, like I said, you know, a lot of people ain't taking too kind of it because they were like, hey, she said it was sitting on her desk. Now all of a sudden there's no client list, there's no this, there's no that. And like I said, me personally, I still believe in the Trump administration. I still believe they're going to get the job done. I'm not turning my back on Aaron, what of them. I'm just really just telling y'all like what people has been saying online about, hey, Pam Bondi them done turn on President Trump. He need to get rid of them because they ain't doing their job. They promised that they were going to, you know, put out their list and they ain't doing it. What is they hiding? Is it a cover up? So that's what a lot of people been saying online. But like I said, me personally, I'm still sticking with them. I believe they still gonna get the job done. But there's a lot of MAGA that's really, really upset about this because everybody been waiting. So if y'all see this clip right here, this is when Pam Bondi said that the client list was sitting on her desk. This is what she said.
Yeah, I saw your appearance at CPAC with Ben and with Ted Cruz. And one of the things that you alluded to, and this is something Donald Trump has talked about, the DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay. Well,
because at the same time, remember that was around the time she said that, hey, we got a truckload coming in. So like a lot of people has not been happy with Pam Bondi. Because like I said, they feel like it's some type of cover up. And like I mentioned before, y'all let me know in the comment section, how do y'all feel about this? Do y'all still believe in Pam Bondi them? Do you believe they're going to get the job done, or you just kind of lost faith in them? Just let me know down below in the comment section. But we're going to check this out from Benny because he has a little bit more information on all of this. Let's check this out.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. This is the story of Virginia Roberts, a young girl who grew up dirt poor, broken family, wrong side of town, who was preyed upon, ensnared, entrapped, and eventually serially victimized by a very dark, very mysterious, very evil man named Jeffrey Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell, also pictured here. Virginia Roberts was sold around the world. She traveled extensively with Epstein for over 2 decades. She worked with and for him in the business until she finally snapped, broke, and went public with all of her stories. This led, of course, to a multi-million-pound settlement from the royal family and the stripping of a title from Prince Andrew, who's still anathema. Even his own friends say on hidden camera that Prince Andrew was banging underage girls. Their words, not mine. So this is just one example of one of the many victims and the way that Jeffrey Epstein operated. Jeffrey Epstein operated by taking young, susceptible, vulnerable women and then selling them. He promised a life of luxury, private islands and private jets, in return for massages. This is well documented. This is something I'm assuming it's in the actual filings against Epstein when he was found guilty in federal court of running a with Ghislaine Maxwell, who was also found guilty in federal court of running. So for the federal government to somehow whisk it all away and say, nope, never happened, don't believe your eyes and ears, the final command of the party. DOJ, FBI conclude Epstein had no client list, that he had no blackmail operation, that he died by suicide. Well, this is very interesting.
Something ain't right,
it's
man.
It's very strange because the Attorney General has said that his client list was sitting on her desk.
Exactly.
Releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So it's sitting on my desk. Now, Pam Bondi has gone on and said that there are tens of thousands of horrific images. Also, Lena Habba saying the same thing.
In this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process. Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court. But again, now it's time for accountability. We have seen for so many years, Pierce, in this country, many investigations, subpoenas, testimonies in Congress, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a general frustration with accountability. We take it halfway, we don't take it home. And I really believe that now with Cash and Pam, there will be accountability.
So wait. There's all these people, all these names. There's been no accountability. Yes, this is exactly what we've been talking about.
Exactly what we've been talking about.
Who flew to Epstein's Island, who in the released, and it took them years, but they finally released some of the depositions from some of the young abused women on the island. They said, we've seen Bill Clinton on this island. He's been here with us. He's been taken into back rooms. We've seen Clinton ourselves. When Clinton was asked about Epstein's Island, he said this.
Any comments on the alleged allegation of your connection with Jeffrey Epstein?
I think the evidence is clear.
And you heard what he said. He literally started smiling and said, I think the evidence is clear. So that's the reason why a lot of people are saying this got to be a cover-up. Something is not right. Why is Pam Bondi them withholding information when you said that you had a truckload coming? Then you said it was sitting on your desk, and now all of a sudden there's no Epstein list. It's like I don't know. I think they hiding something. Something is not right. Something is not right. And like I said, I hope they get the job done and put out that list that everybody's waiting on. Because like I said, a lot of MAGA is not happy at all about all of this. And then you got Bill Clinton putting that smirk on his face, talking about, oh, I think the evidence is clear. Like, what kind of answer is that? Instead of saying, hey, I ain't got nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein, I ain't do this, I ain't do that, he just starts smiling and said the evidence is clear. It's like...
Really? What evidence, Bill? Well, apparently, according to the feds, there is no evidence. Justice Department and FBI concluded that they have no evidence.
This is crazy, bro. Something
This is in spite of the hundreds of hours of physical evidence that we can see with our own eyes and ears inside of Jeffrey Epstein's multiple residences. Time and time again, we document this, that the feds are carrying out boxes after boxes after boxes of hard drives, Mac towers, and like CDs. Some of these hard drives were wrapped in yellow evidence tape, not put there by the feds, according to the FBI special agent in charge, put there by Epstein. Epstein himself had evidence, but the feds say there's nothing. They say there's nothing. It's dark, ladies and gentlemen. Just one other example of this. Here's a perfect example. Jeffrey Epstein tried to extort Bill Gates over extramarital affair. Epstein blackmailed Bill Gates, according to this article, because he had an affair with a 20-something's very young Russian bridge player, somebody who was half his age. That's very Jeffrey Epstein style. Jeffrey Epstein set it up. He set up the meeting, and he probably housed them in his Manhattan mansion overnight. You know what I mean? How else would he be able to blackmail the richest man on earth at the time? Did you see how easy it is? Did you see how it works out? It's all been documented. But they want us to believe that because they released this video, which, by the way, like, you're telling me that the government can't doctor evidence? It shows that nobody entered or exited the cell block. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, I don't, something darker is going on here.
I think so, too.
I'll say. There are darker forces at play. Yeah, I don't think so. Jeffrey Epstein was never actually found guilty. Yes, he was. He went to prison. He got off on like a deal. He got let out on a deal that nobody's ever seen before. So such a sweetheart deal. And then he was told that he belongs to Intel. That's how he got out of jail for something that everybody else, you and me, would have.
You can see right here with Robbie Starbuck, like, you can tell this guy is pissed off. He say Pam Bondi said the Epstein client list was on her desk to review for release to the public just a few months ago. Now the DOJ she leads claims that there's no Epstein client list. Sorry, but this is unacceptable. Was she lying then, or is she lying now? We deserve answers, and I told you, everybody is saying this. Nobody is happy about this because, especially when you promise the American people you're going to put something out, people is going to hold you to that. So now when you say, hey, I got the papers on my desk, and then you turn around and say, oh, there's nothing to review here. There's nothing there. There's no Epstein client list. Like, there's nothing. It's like a lot of people's not going to fall for that. They're going to be upset.
Have spent the rest of our lives in prison for. He was charged and convicted with. That's what he did. Now the feds are saying there were no clients. It was just all Jeffrey Epstein, just for the love of the game. Sick stuff. The entire internet's calling this out. If you think it's weird, yeah, trust me, you're on the right side. The entire internet's calling it out. Pam Bondi and Epstein client list was on her desk for review for release to the public just a few months ago. Now the DOJ says that there is no Epstein client list. This is unacceptable. She lying then, or was she lying now? Alex Acosta, the DOJ official who gave Jeffrey Epstein the sweetheart plea deal in 2008, was quoted saying he was told to back off Epstein because he belonged to intelligence, but seriously, had all 11 months of DOJ emails to him in that time period has disappeared. Look at that. Whoops. All of Acosta's emails are gone.
Wow.
The ones where the intel agencies are saying to lay off Epstein. This new DOJ memo admits that there are countless victims of Epstein on video, but no clients. It also claims that Epstein wasn't using videos for blackmail, but I can show you multiple articles where he's literally doing that. Some of the world's richest and most powerful men. Is Pam Bondi serious? No one who has followed this for years believed that everyone went to Epstein Island was just there to catch some waves and relax? Again, nobody believes this for good reason. What Epstein and his ilk did is pure evil, and the memo attempts to just close the book on it like there's no one else involved. I can't pretend to say it's okay. The victims deserve better, and we deserve better. It's true. If Epstein was involved in blackmail, why did he have all the bedrooms in NYC mansion wired with hidden cameras and monitored from a central control room? Jeffrey Epstein had surveillance room in NY mansion to keep tabs on all of his guests. Well, would you look at that? Would you look at this? Why were the computers removed from the house before the search warrant was executed? No idea. Very strange. Maybe because he belonged to intelligence. Who was the John Doe filing requests to keep the Epstein files sealed? A John or Jane Doe has tried filing an anonymous motion to keep all Epstein records sealed. Could that Jane Doe be the CIA?
Yeah, something ain't right.
The DOJ, the Epstein client list is now complete. 1, Prince Andrew. That's it. That's the only client. Got it? Epstein from Jeffrey Epstein's safe went missing after the FBI raid. Court hears Ghislaine Maxwell trial. Got it? Who are these people? A John or Jane Doe is asking the court to let him file a motion under seal to anonymously scrub himself from the record. This isn't how the public court system is supposed to work. It's just strange.
It don't. Something. That was something strange.
On all fronts. Like, none of this makes any sense, and they really are. They're trying to close the book and whitewash all of it. If there was no Epstein client list, then why did New York court refuse the Gateway Pundit's legal request for the list based on anonymous Jane Doe? So there's no list, but you're not allowed to see the list. Got it? If there were Epstein clients, why is Ghislaine Maxwell in jail? Sounds like a great question for James Comey's daughter, who also happened to be the prosecutor of Ghislaine Maxwell. See that?
Yep.
See how easy that works? Oh, by the way, Diddy got off. Yeah. Evidence from Jeffrey Epstein's safe went missing after FBI raid. Court hears in Ghislaine Maxwell trial. Wow, so strange. According to the report, a trove of at the property. Court papers said that alongside the photos were compact discs, handwritten, including young, name, miscellaneous nudes, girl pic nudes. There were also passports from foreign countries with a picture of Epstein under another name. The mansion had 40 rooms, and it took 12 hours for a team to fully search all of the rooms. Actually, Jeffrey Epstein never even existed. That's going to be next, right? There is no such thing as Jeffrey Epstein. Move along.
Yeah, it's like the more I'm looking at it, it's like everybody is just pissed off. Everybody is pissed off. Just like this guy said, I can't believe Epstein took out himself right before he was about to be acquitted due to a complete lack of evidence. So that's what I'm saying. It's just something strange. And it's like, I'm just sitting here thinking like, man, what is going on? Maybe y'all can help me in the comment section of like, what do y'all think going on? What do y'all think going to happen next? I will be looking in the comment section, so please let me know, how do y'all feel about all of this? Like I said before, do you think they're going to, eventually release it, or they just, are they hiding something? We got to figure out something.
I can't believe Epstein killed himself right before he was about to be acquitted due to the complete lack of evidence. Perfect. That's right. Yeah, why would they release these binders? Why release the binders if there's no Epstein evidence? We're either being lied to now or we're being lied to then. I think I know the answer. Here's my take on this, ladies and gentlemen, is that this is a live grenade that was handed to the Trump administration to blow up in their hands. Do I think that like Kash Patel was like on the Epstein list or something? No, I don't. Do I think that the people who actually covered all of this up did so decades ago when it was happening and destroyed the evidence, hid it in order to make fools of Kash, Pam, and the Trump administration? Yes, I do. And I think that's what's happening right now. And then when they're left with no evidence, what are they going to do? When the evidence has been all wiped clean, confiscated, or hidden away at the CIA, what are they going to do?
See, they ain't going to be able to do anything then, because if all the evidence gets wiped away, like the longer you don't put it out, they're just going to wipe it clean. Then it sure enough ain't going to be nothing to put out. So that right there is exactly what I think is going to happen. Like I said, that right there, it's crazy, man. So like I said, y'all get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think about all of this. I will keep y'all up to date as more information comes out. That's if they decide to drop the list. Right now, they're saying it's nothing. And so, like I said, the internet is on fire right now. People calling for President Trump to fire them. Fire all three of them. But I don't know, man. But like I said, we just got to see what's going to happen next. So like I said, thank you all for watching. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.